Hello, this is Beta Ray Ben for Pixel Spank, and in an unusual twist of fates, I've been sent a code to a game that I actually wanted. This is Sunless Skies, and I don't think it's actually out yet. Begin a new game. If you die, you can only continue with a new captain. If you die, you can reload or continue with a new captain. Right, now, realistically, I feel like that's the way you're meant to do it. I can't actually read what that says. That's not the game's fault. That's because I set the font to large size. Because I'm blind. I don't. Was that say I can see mercy, merciful, probably. I didn't click on either of them, though. Idiot. Right, merciful campaign. So there's the sequel to Sunless Skies, which I didn't play, but I always like the look of. Look out for horror, which causes terror. I'm hoping this is in a very finite genre of games which is both gothic and horror inspired without also being scary, such as the game Darkest Dungeon. Log of Her Majesty's Locomotive, the Orpheon, March 14th, 1905. Our expedition to the Mains of the Dead has been eventful. The Orpheon is damaged and in grievous need of repairs and supplies. We are returning in haste to the Reach, where I hope to make port at New Winchester. May God be with us, for 1,000 deaths were in the sky. Final entry of Amelia Whitlock. I don't like that it skipped through that. That was quite hard to read. Though, to be fair, you know, you'd be able to read it quicker than me. That is some quite loud train noises. Right, so how do we control this? Okay. I'm assuming I've been to port and I don't need to make port now. Oh, here we are. You've returned to the Reach and Thames on the span of the heavens, London's new frontier, a celestial garden to run wild. We seem to be a flying train, or locomotive. I guess is it a locomotive if it doesn't have a track? Your journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous. Your locomotive is crippled and Captain Whitlock badly wounded. Now, the Blue Kingdom I have heard of, because before I got sent the key, they sent me a thing saying that up until the game's release date, the Blue Kingdom, which is like the final level of the game, is unavailable. So as not to spoil it for idiots like me. For idiots like me not to spoil it for normies, muggles. As first officer, the crew look to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. Can you get the Orpheon there safely? So it sounds to me like I'm roughly where I need to be, and I just have to get us home. Scavenge. Much to the reef of your stokes, you find a barrel of fuel. Ah, here we are. These are things, aren't they? Supplies, fuel. Supplies are low. I probably shouldn't hang around. A wreck drifts here, less fortunate even than you. We should scavenge her for repairs. The Ozymandias. He was an ancient Egyptian king. The wreck hangs in the sky, pocked with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments of waxed canvas, lined with felt to protect against the cold of the skies. Two of the crew are whispering as they dress. What business did Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyway? Why the devil did we trespass on the districts of the dead? You silence him. Now's not the time. Leap across to the wreck. The gap between the two engines isn't wide, but the endless fathom of heaven gape beneath you. So I think in the veil of like FTL, these little encounters are always text-based and give you options. But this one's the tutorial one, so you don't have an option. Oh shit, I skipped ahead. Leading the way, you jump. Your stomach lurches with vertigo as the stars blaze above you and below. The air of the heavens is thin and torn by unpredictable winds. Then your boots hit the running board of the Ozymandias, or Ozymandias, I don't really know. And your leather-gloved hands fumble for a hold. One of your companions throws you a line, and you lash the two engines together. Only then do the rest of the boarding party follow you. One of them forces open an exterior hatch, and you clamber inside. Her interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with wind. Your party lamp Your party's lamps spread buttery light over the narrow, panelled passages. You make your way towards the hold, stepping over bodies crumpled in the corridor. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. A bulkhead has been mangled inward by a well-aimed barrage. Clear the obstruction away. You locate a length of pipe to use as a pry bar and set it to work. This will test your iron skill. Iron is the skill of confronting and overcoming. I like that. I like it when they have sort of dumb skills like that and they don't, like, you know, they're kind of arbitrary. A memory. As you strain against the stubborn steel, you remember an event from a year ago. A boiler explosion had trapped an engineer under a tangle of plating and pipework. The captain was first on the scene. You were second. We. Together, you managed to pry the wreckage upwards, enough for you to crawl beneath it, while the captain braced the bar across her back. By all means, take your time, she grunted, as you dragged the engineer out. Back in the present, the twisted bulkhead yields. Your companions clear the exposed rubble away. Now, that was a little thing to give us a hint of our captain's past, and I learned two interesting things from that. One, she wasn't always a captain. That's not actually it. No. Two, she must be a woman. Here's why. She let the captain hold the bar across her back. The captain was a woman. Now, genetically speaking, were our character a man, probably be stronger and would therefore be better cased to do the strength task, while the likely smaller woman should crawl beneath. And down here is a picture of our fairly feminine captain. But I might be wrong. I may be reading too much into this with my own gender bias. The way is clear. No. You have reached the Ozymandias hold. You have reached the Ozymandias' hold. The apostrophe implies plural. A ruin of smashed cargo and spilled supplies, hopefully somewhere amidst the detritus. Detritus means shit left behind. You can find parts to repair the Orpheon and restock your stores. Conduct a thorough search. Your companions work quickly. The Ozymandias' hull has begun to creak. Your actions on board may have compromised its integrity. Now, I'm presuming in this world, when hull integrity is ruined, a ship just falls out of the sky. As atmosphere doesn't appear to be an issue, as their suits only protect them from the cold. But I might be wrong. I got fresh supplies down there, that's good. Renewed, you find enough food and gear to restock your supplies and enough spare parts to make necessary repairs to the Orpheon. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course, but you've eaten worse in the skies. Oh no, cries one of your party, prying the lid off a long crate. It holds a cannon, still nestled in straw. Oh ho, as in good, not bad. Another crewman pulls a battered birdcage from a pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and furred opens a sullen eye. You examine your finds. 2 supplies, 15 hull, and presumably some loot. The Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Your boarding party exchanges nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies and discover some useful equipment. A gun that could be mounted on your locomotive, and an educated bat. I'm assuming I've got a choice here. I can't do both. So I could mount the Jerusalem cannon. My weapons are damaged, that leaves you vulnerable. Or I could liberate Diffident, don't know that word, bat, and employ it as a scout. The heavens are wide, so locomotives use scouts like bats to locate things of interest. Return to the... Well, interesting. I could just leave... Oh, no, I can't leave everything. It is a choice. So if I take the cannon, that gives me a weapon, which would be handy. But I feel like this is a trick, and the game wouldn't put you in a combat situation this early on without a weapon, so I should take the bat. The bat treats its rescue as an inconvenience and immediately begins haggling over pay. You offer to put it back in its damn cage and leave it on the Ozymandias, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it will last. I now have a diffident bat. Good. The Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Your boarding party exchanges nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies and discovered some useful equipment. I had time to do both then. in this instance. Fire and 30. The Cotterell and Haversage, Jerusalem, fire single shells to a good range, more or less accurately. You order 2 of your party, yep. And now I have to leave. Yep, press, oh no, I don't have to leave. I have the option to leave. The Ozymandias emits a long juddering creak. Your boarding party exchanges nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies. Right, you might find more fuel there, but you better hurry. You will abandon anything you have not yet claimed from the hold. I'm going to leave, because I don't actually need more. Do I need more fuel? One of these is fuel, I don't know which. It doesn't matter. Let's go. Onwards, away, you lead your boarding party to your vessel. Unshackling her from the buckling Ozymandias, you stoke your engines and steam away. You are briefly without terror. Nice. I think terror is a mechanic in the vein of like sanity. The captain's condition is worsening. Oh. Well, that's good to know. Oh, summoned by Captain Whitlock. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of curios from the sky. A chunk of black permafrost from Old Tom's well. A knot of fossilized Hybrian fungus. 2 spines from a scorn fluke mounted on the wall. Crossed like swords. Captain Whitlock lies in bed. Black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. When she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. Aye, she's got the train sickness. Inquire after their... Alright, or approach the bedside. I've been summoned by the captain, so the logic is she wants me and not the doctor. I approach the bedside. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hand grips your arm. Her skin is hot as a kettle. Make arrangements. The Orphean will be yours. Her voice is just a rasp of burned meat breath. I said I pronounced that wrong, didn't I? But promise. She breaks off to scream a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker. Her request little more than a gasp. Promise me. One last service. Promise. Promise her you obey her last command. Make no promise. Tell her to rest. Pull away. What if she's contagious? Demand to know where she took the Orphean to, why she took the Orphean to the Blue Kingdom. You know what? I'll promise her. I'm good like that. She sinks back, relieved. All in my will, she gasps. Be a better. She breaks off as the sigils burned into her bones flare, glowing cherry red through her flesh and skin. Be a better captain than I. That's what she says. The effort exhausts her. She sinks back in there and into Twantic. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of oh, no, yeah, I already read that. Leave. Other business. You leave the cabin and the scorched stink of its air behind you and return to the bridge. New Winchester is further ahead than you like, and the captain hasn't not long left. Can I... Yep. Oh, I've overheated the weapons. That looks like an enemy to me. It's a marauder. Easy now. Oh yes. Quite satisfying combat. Is that something I want? What do I get? You approach the buckled wreckage, poised to plunder the plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming a song of victory. Raid the remains, strip it for repairs. So I can do this one and then probably do that one. Marauders pillage homesteads and travellers across the reach. They often carry stolen valuables. Ill-got gains. Your boarding party returns with wallets and watches, cufflinks, lockets and keepsakes. You store them in the safe, to be pawned when/if you make it back to port. I've got 28 sovereigns to my name. Glorious. So I'm guessing there's 2 kinds of fuel here. This is fuel for my ship. Yep. And this is my supplies. So this is probably terror, and that's some sort of, yeah, hull strength. Hold and crew. The taste of smoke, the sound of iron on iron. We are home. I love how close they were to the pirates. This place. Right. I'm guessing I have to slowly go down here to dock effectively, and if I do it too fast, I will die. Yes, here we are. Arrival at New Winchester. You coast into the bustle, the din, the soot and the steam of Wolversey Station. This game is so terribly English. I love it. It's clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the sidings than a brusque station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. I must speak with your captain, he insists, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities. Look to the Orphean's doctor. He's just appeared at your shoulder, his face is solemn, his hat in his hands, his eyes lowered. I believe the captain is dead. The passing. I think this is the prologue over, given that it says begin here. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The Orphean itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that, unfortunately, Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says, neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad, very sad. He waits for what must be considered an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even amidst tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority requires their answers from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. The pen surprises me. I was thinking quill or... Not a pen, basically. I'm going to imagine a fountain pen. I suggest you do the same. It would be relatively painless. And not just any fountain pen, the kind where you'd have an inkwell and you put it in there, you plunge at the top, it sucks the ink up, take it out, you dab it once or twice, and then you start writing. That's what I'm imagining. I suggest you do the same. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It'll be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? Begin. And now I'm guessing I get to put in some... Ah, cool, I get to make my character. Create your captain. Today, London lies between the stars. I'm hoping that in the future you get to just skip all of that nonsense. As it seems like this is like a roguelike where you just do more and more runs and get further and further. Right, today London lies between the stars. A new empire unfolds across the heavens. But 10 years ago, before the Northern Gate was opened, before the enduring Empress led her people into the skies, it lay in a vast cavern far beneath the earth. I'm going to go with just a random captain, because there's quite a few, isn't there? Street urchin, soldier, poet, academic, priest, sailor, which I'm guessing is zombie sailor. You rode them... yeah, I'm not going to read it. Okay, so here's my captain, my origin. I was an academic. Perhaps you're... I specifically requested large text. Perhaps you were educated in one of the esteemed colleges of Benfic or Somerset. Perhaps you taught yourself through trial and error and grit. But what was your field of study? Literature. Okay. And my ambition is wealth. Okay. To win, gather a substantial retirement fund, acquire lodgings in a hub port and retire. Doesn't seem like a sort of game where you can win. And I'm heavily bandaged. I'll go with Whitlock because that's actually a very cool name. And my stats... I don't know what they are. Let's go. Let's head in. If you run out of both supplies and crew, you will die. Charming. The reading of the will. 3 weeks have passed. This morning, Captain Whitlock receives a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to a necropolis train bound for the Serene Mausoleum. Sounds nice, doesn't it? The Serene Mausoleum. Now you sit with a handful of her relatives in the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. The captain was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. Listen to the end. The captain's relatives, from whom she was mostly estranged, are clearly wondering why you are here. They ain't gonna like this, are they? True to her word. In a final codicil, nope, the notary announces Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orpheon was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry, grey eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the Orpheon's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request was that, at a time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card and deposit it there. Along with this, he slides a stiff envelope towards you. It contains a key. She gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The Orpheon is yours. You have been bequeathed and gained 100 gold sovereigns. Okay, that's good. Wolversea Station, the clamouring central station of New Winchester, a place of steam and smut and thundering iron. Oh, God damn it, this is imperialistic as fuck, isn't it? Here, you can find people willing to pay for a skilled captain's services. So I can explore the city, recruit the incautious driver. I don't want a driver who is incautious, that sounds bad. Opportunity, repair, hire on crew, ambition, wealth. I'm guessing this is about buying a home. What I really want to do is go and deliver that black box, which I'm guessing would be here. No, I can't be able to do any of that. Let's take on a job, shall we? Which I would guess would be this, the fastidious inspector. Excuse me, Captain. A woman pushes through the crowds towards you. She is short and square-shouldered. There are only two shapes of shoulder, aren't they? There's square, and there's like what's that? Slouched, no-shouldered. You can be broad-shouldered, but they're always square-shouldered, aren't they? She is short and square-shouldered, in a neat black suit and polished nails. She shows you the case of her pocket watch. It's embossed with the crown and hourglass of London's horological office. The body responsible for ensuring time is consistent across the empire. I'm hoping to book passage to Port Prosper, she says, slipping the watch away. I can, of course, pay. Pay sounds promising. I do aspire to wealth. A new passenger. Thank you. The locomotive I was on broke down following a boiler rupture. The chief engineer's fault, I suspect. A gentleman fonder of brandy than of diligence. Here, an initial sum to seal our bargain. Prosper lies to the west-southwest. Prosper lies to the west-southwest of New Winchester. Not that there is such a thing as north, south, east, or indeed west out here. Instead, London cartographers picked 4 of the brighter, more reliable stars visible from the Empress's new palace and named them north, east, south, and west. Londoners value familiarity. Onwards then. So I've picked up one job already. My hull is fine. I don't need to repair anything. I could grow. What does this actually do? Ambition, wealth. In order to retire in the manner to which you want. Right. I have to purchase the governor's manor. This actually kind of reminds me of like in a lot of these larger board games, like role-playing style ones, where you'd be given a kind of a task to acquire that would be different to other characters. So I need to purchase that. And unless I'm going crazy, it doesn't tell me how much it is, which is always a good start, isn't it? It's 129 coins, sovereigns. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Do I want to recruit this driver? No. Oh, I just quit, and that's how I leave. Okay. So we're heading. Was it right? So west would likely be this way. It was west, south, west, wasn't it? That compass. Okay, that... It did not help. So where, southwest would be this way. West southwest is this way. That's how you learn these things. Okay, straight away I've hit a bit of a roadblock. Let's go round it in a westerly fashion. Now, I didn't buy any supplies, which may have been to my error. Canters still. I think that means like a distillery where they would make booze. I haven't got a lot of fuel. I think I'll be alright, because I suspect this place can't be too far. That looks like a gun to me. He's a scout. But is he an enemy scout? It says he's for the UC Faraday. He's not attacking me, so I think I'll be fine. I found Young's found. Let's have a look. So I could have sold some of the stuff I had in my stockpile probably, but I now realise how I would have done that. It's when I explored the city, I had a chance to go to town, didn't I? Which I didn't do. New Winchester built watchtowers here in a fruitless attempt to defeat marauders. Sorry, deter. Alright, let's have a look at the old map. It's... what? See, the thing is, I took on this job for this woman, who I'm not even sure is on board with me, to be honest. I feel like I might have neglected that. Where would it tell me? Probably in journal. West, south, alright. Well, it's kind of on there, so I'll assume... oh, a stopped clock. The fastidious inspector approaches you in the galley. Captain, good day. I notice your ship's clock has stopped. Perhaps you'd permit me to repair it. She has little case of tools and a hopeful expression. It would be useful, but I feel like she's going to charge me. But I'll permit it. She hasn't said she would. She gives a grateful flicker of a smile and sets to work. Soon she has the back off the clock, and has spread tiny cogs across the galley table. Obscure horological tools gleam brassily among them. Everything has a place. I appreciate the opportunities to keep myself busy. Staring too long at the stars is harmful to the temperament. Alright, she's fixing it. Round face, brown eyes, short dark hair, perpetually busy. Inquire about her work, discuss the reach, or compliment her skills. Unlocked when you have the fastidious inspector. Compliment her skills, I guess. Thank you, she says, a small embarrassed silence. It's possible the inspector is pleased, it's rather hard to tell. Do it again. The wide... you know what? I don't care. You've got work to do. And to you, Captain. I think I shall make a cup of tea. There's an unwritten rule, isn't there? If you're an English game developer and you're making a game that can allow it in any fashion, you've got to have a cup of tea involved. Yeah, so I don't know how far I'm supposed to go. Also, there's a searchlight over here. It could be an enemy, marauders, or it might be Prosper. It's probably a lighthouse, actually. Ah. Havenwood. That looks like a dock, but I'm not really sure. Right, probably not. And I took 1 damage from that. That's grand. How are we doing for time? I was kind of hoping to make it to Prosper by the end of the video, but I have no knowledge of how far that will be. However, it means that this video just ends on an incredibly uneventful note. I suppose that's what will have to happen. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do a part 2 of this. I'll see you then.